Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Sunny Galt. At UNN, you get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you're here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore Earth. In the U.S., it is Friday, May 17th, 2024. Check out this backyard in Queensland, Australia. These ducks and chickens offer great companionship and entertainment for the owner of the home. If your home has mold, there are ways to treat it naturally. You just need some vinegar, essential oils, diffusers, and a spray bottle. How much of your sovereignty are you giving up in the workplace? That's all changing in the new Earth. The UK is dealing with severe prison overcrowding, which is now delaying bail hearings, affecting victims, witnesses, and defendants. And South Africa now has a new law to provide universal health coverage. Learn more about the benefits and the constraints.
This is Calen Giff, messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's field messenger reports from all around the world. Today we visit sunny Queensland in Australia to meet some backyard ducks and chickens. UNN field messenger Mel introduces us to her brood and shares how her birds have benefited her life.
I am UNN field messenger Mel speaking from Deception Bay, 30 minutes north of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. I have been a backyard chickener for many years now, but recently I became a ducker too. They are so loving and gentle and a great calming balm. The ducks are hilarious. I get daily wonderful belly-wrenching laughs from them, whereas the chickens are sober but still calming. We all, the ducks, chickens and me, speak the same language, and their eyes reveal their hearts. They hang around the bottom of the staircase so that they can catch any scraps from the kitchen. They love peas and sweet corn. I've come to the conclusion that ducks are way hardier than the chickens. It's too sad to lose one of them. Some days I sit outside in the shade with them and they all gather around and have a snooze. It's my quiet time. I always feel rejuvenated after an hour or so from them, being with them. They love human company. I highly recommend this natural form of therapy. It's amazing. And the fabulous effect it has on the mind and body. We feed a lot of wild birds too. Crows, butcher birds, cockatoos and corellas. Sometimes the galahs come and the pale-headed rosellas and the lorikeets. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Did you know that experiencing increased allergies, fatigue and illness could indicate mold in your home? UNN field messenger Helen shows us how to make our homes mold-free naturally.
Hello beautiful beings, this is Field Messenger Helen reporting with nature for United Network News, and we are going to look at mould. Now if you have someone come out and test with their equipment that detects mould, you'll find there's heaps of mould in the garden, and that's just normal. The issue is when you've got a way the water can get into the house. There were some telltale signs of black speckled mould on the plaster, and when we took it off they had to keep stripping it higher and higher to discover the water leak is from a valley in the roof where it meets. There's a bit of gutter sticking out, all the branches collect, the water builds up behind that and it's leaking in there. From my research, I found this collection of oils, thyme, sage, oregano, clove, tea tree and rosemary, to be a powerful collection that kill all kinds of moulds, because there are different types. It kills the spores and the aflatoxins. So once all those different oils and the straight white vinegar is in the diffusers, I am closing off the space that has the mould and fogging. I've fogged fogged a lot repeatedly, and I also use the same mixture in a spray bottle, and I physically spray the timbers. The key thing is make sure there's no water sources. So I will never be complacent with emptying the gutters or checking the roof, and just keep an eye. If there's any moisture coming from your tap fittings under the sink, sort it out immediately, because you don't want bigger issues. Mould is a big impact on our health. So may you be healthy and mould free. Bye.
We want you to become a UNN field messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special training or equipment. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. Our new website is now up and running at unitednetwork.earth. You can submit your Field Messenger reports directly through the Field Messenger tab at the top of the page. You can also email your reports to our new email address at fieldmessenger@unitednetwork.earth.
Hey, I'm Kirsten from Switzerland.
This is Wayne from Tucson.
Hi, my name is Desmond from Ghana.
I am Claudia from Dawsonville, Georgia.
I'm Mikey from Pretoria, South Africa.
Hi, I'm Steve McGrath, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada.
People from all around the world are coming together.
Happy day, beautiful world. We are here in a rather small urban garden, and this video is just to show you the joys that we've had in this garden with the electric gardening.
When news happens in their area, they show us what's really going on.
We have people in the streets protesting for and against.
At United Network News, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Field Messenger Helen reporting with nature, and I'm going to talk to you about the bees again.
Take the next step in restoring our planet. Become a UNN field messenger today.
Hi, I'm Stephanie from South Africa. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news.
Humanity is now relearning the importance of sovereignty, not only in our personal lives, but in the workplace as well. Sovereignty is replacing dependency, which gives up our own authority. Karen Sherwood is a business and career consultant whose mission is to awaken the human spirit, empowering individuals to live their true purpose while utilizing their unique gifts. Okay, well, Karen is joining us today. You guys might be familiar with Karen if you guys watch Real Talk. Karen, today we're talking about our sovereignty, which is so important to us as humanity. It's something that we're having to relearn. And I want to tie this into the workplace because having sovereignty over ourselves can obviously change the way we do things in the workplace. So, yeah, what do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think this is one of the major shifts that's happening right now is that we're learning that we can't just be dependent on everything and everyone, including our workplace. And so this is a quote that I often read to my students when they're first starting because it really has impact in the change that we're going through. This is a quote from Ra Urahu, who is the founder of BG5, which I teach in human design. And so he talked about times are changing. And he said the whole direction is a shock, and it's going to be a shock. To be able to operate correctly as yourself is to operate in a world that will demand nothing less. It is a world that will embrace those that can operate as themselves, and it will also mean a great deal of disorder and chaos and confusion for those that are lost in dependency. Everyone was nurtured in it, and everything about our kind is rooted in dependency. And dependency is about giving up your own authority. Mm-hmm. Now, what that means of giving up your own authority is that we have this tendency to trust everyone outside of ourselves, but we don't trust ourselves. So part of sovereignty is really learning to trust ourselves, trust our body intelligence, trust that we know exactly what is correct for ourselves. And so, for example, in the workplace, oftentimes we sacrifice ourselves just to make money. And we can often end up doing things that don't feel correct for us, but we do it because that's what the job is.
Yeah.
You know, this also plays into other areas of life as well. For example, in our healthcare system, oftentimes we trust doctors, and even if something doesn't feel correct, we trust them even though it doesn't feel correct for ourselves. So all of this is about trusting our own authority, trusting our own decisions, trusting our own intuition, because we know best. And in a sense, our body can communicate much deeper than our mind can. And so part of bringing back our sovereignty is learning to trust ourselves again. And when you learn to trust yourself, whether it be at home or in the workplace, it's going to demand that sometimes you have to make really tough choices. But those tough choices, once you make them, is what really feels correct. I know, and I have worked with many, many people who end up burning themselves out in the workplace. They're not happy in the workplace. And where do we spend a lot of our time? Sometimes we spend more time in the workplace than we do at home.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a shift for people, because I feel like when we think about the workplace, when we think about our job, it's always about what we can do for them, as opposed to how this is benefiting us as well. Like we might think about, I want to get a promotion, right? But it's still not, it's tied to money. It's tied to other things. It's not always tied to personal development. And it's rare, unfortunately, it's rare for a lot of employers to look at it like, what can I do for my employees? I know that does happen, and thank goodness it does. But I'm thinking, like, if we were to like sample all the companies out there, like in the US, let's say, unfortunately, because of financial reasons and whatever, a lot of, people that run businesses don't have that mindset. And we think, we want to advance in whatever job we have. We think, I'm going to have to give something up. That is our current mentality. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this shakes out.
Exactly. And we've become slaves to the system. That's part of the dependency. A lot of people don't leave their job because of benefits, healthcare benefits, or financial benefits. And one of the things is that a lot of people are not really doing what they love and loving what they do. There's a lot of quiet quitting out there. And those leaders, ones that I've worked with that really do pay attention to, in a sense, the true bottom line, which is their employees, and they can really understand how each employee operates, how each employee each person has their own individual style, their own individual things that motivate them. When a leader can actually tap into that, the productivity skyrockets. And not only that, people are more healthy in the workplace. People enjoy and love what they're doing. And that creates a whole different type of workplace. And it creates a whole different type of connection when we can truly trust ourselves and when we can connect with others that also trust themselves. And we can work together in a completely different way than we never have before.
All around the world, virtual co-working spaces are transforming productivity and mental well-being for millions of people, especially for those living with ADHD and other neurodiversity issues. There are several virtual co-working platforms connecting strangers to work alongside each other online. These platforms offer significant advantages to remote workers, writers, and students, enhancing their productivity and efficiency through digital companionship and mutual support. Studies show even minimal social interactions can significantly boost dopamine release. This helps to give us feelings of pleasure and motivation, enhancing our memory, concentration, and ability to absorb new information. A survey of regular users revealed an increase in productivity, especially amongst ADHD participants. Beyond productivity, these platforms offer a sense of belonging, reducing the loneliness remote workers often face. The appeal of virtual co-working spaces highlights a shift toward a more supportive, community-oriented working environment. In a refreshing response to Australia's cost of living crisis, many consumers are choosing direct from farmer purchases despite higher costs. In New South Wales, several entrepreneurs have revolutionized the food supply chain by selling directly to more than 50,000 consumers. This trend has emerged amid growing dissatisfaction with supermarket price practices, with customers willing to pay a premium to ensure farmers receive fair compensation. This new model promises fairer pay for meat farmers as well as other producers like egg, macadamia nut, and olive oil farmers. Recent surveys show that customers are willing to pay premium prices for the promise of higher quality, ethically sourced products, from grass-fed beef to organic turkeys when sold directly from family farms. These direct transactions ensure transparency, supporting animal welfare and sustainable farming practices while enabling farmers to become price makers rather than price takers. This growing movement reflects a change in consumer values while offering a sustainable, ethical alternative to supermarket shopping. In Western Australia, Russell Calder has transformed his health and livelihood with an innovative enterprise focused on earthworm benefits. After facing severe health issues from chemical exposure, the former groundskeeper turned to worm farming for producing naturally healthier soil and crops. He developed earthworm tea, a natural fertilizer byproduct from worm castings, now popular amongst eco-conscious farmers for its rich nutrients. Earthworms are key in recycling nutrients and improving soil health by breaking down organic matter. Composting with earthworms significantly enhances soil quality and agricultural sustainability, benefiting both large farms and small home gardens. However, the widespread use of earthworms in agriculture faces hurdles, mainly due to a lack of understanding of their role in soil microbiology, especially in large industrialized farms. Earthworm tea, available in large quantities, offers a sustainable alternative to chemical fertilizers, promoting soil regeneration, earthworm activity, and better plant growth. We are United Network News. Every day, we release real stories from real people all over the world.
Field Messenger reporting from Gold Coast, Australia,
Denmark,
Canada,
Uganda,
from Atlanta, in Southern California.
In their own words, people like you share what's really happening in their area. At UNN, you are the news. You are creating a new world with infinite possibilities. You are the restoration plan. Come join us for the real news every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only on United Network. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news. The UK's prison crisis has led to new emergency measures affecting numerous individuals. Criminal suspects awaiting court hearings are now being kept in police custody due to overcrowded jails, causing bail hearings to be delayed. This move, part of Operation Early Dawn, includes a government plan allowing inmates to be released up to 70 days early. Critics argue this could endanger the public, and legal professionals warn the delays will disrupt the justice system, affecting victims, witnesses, and defendants alike. The prison population has nearly doubled in 30 years, reaching more than 87,000. As resources stretch thin, priority for hearings will be given to the most serious crimes. Meanwhile, the public remains concerned about the potential release of dangerous individuals due to early release policies. Cafes in Spain are taking a stand against remote workers who overstay their welcome. Owners report teleworkers often occupy tables for hours after purchasing a single coffee. In response, some cafes have turned off Wi-Fi and banned laptops during peak hours, while others request that laptop users move for regular customers. Cafes in Paris, Berlin, Lisbon, and Brighton have also established rules to discourage so-called laptop squatters, with some even charging an hourly rate for laptop use. The aim is to maintain the cafe's primary function as social spaces and ensure profitability. To address the issue, many digital nomads are turning to co-working spaces, which are becoming increasingly popular in Spain's major cities. These spaces provide dedicated environments for remote work without impacting local cafes. European ports are facing significant congestion due to the buildup of imported electric vehicles, or EVs, primarily from China, leading to widespread disruptions. The influx is attributed to a combination of faltering EV sales in Europe and logistical bottlenecks, such as reduced road haulage capacity and driver shortages. As a result, many vehicles, including brands like MG, BYD, and NIO, have been stuck at ports for more than a year, negatively impacting manufacturers, distributors, and consumers awaiting deliveries. The financial burden of storing these vehicles and the delayed access to new EV models are pressing concerns for both the industry and potential buyers. Despite state aid encouraging EV adoption, the European market's current sluggishness has worsened the situation. The European Union's Green Deal has created significant challenges for businesses as new legislation demands increased compliance efforts. This has led to high compliance costs, compelling companies to digitize operations, a task proving difficult in regions reliant on paper processes. Companies face significant costs to comply with the 2023 Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, which requires detailed reporting on their environmental and social impacts. The Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism adds further financial strain, costing at least $500,000 yearly. This policy is designed to protect EU industries from countries with relaxed emission rules, but requires importers to provide detailed carbon emission reports. Critics argue the European Commission has become too political, rushing consultations and omitting impact assessments. South Africa's president has signed the National Health Insurance Act into law, aiming to provide universal health coverage. The bill seeks to adjust the disparity between the overburdened public health sector, which serves 84% of the population, and the private sector. The new law will limit private insurance's role and create a public fund for free healthcare access, setting prices for services. However, critics argue it might strain public finances, reduce care quality, and drive doctors abroad. Major health insurers have expressed concerns over the funding model, citing South Africa's economic constraints. The act faces potential legal challenges, with debates expected to revolve around its implementation and financial viability. Implementation is estimated to be 5 to 7 years away. Also in South Africa, immigration policies and the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit, or ZEP plan, continues to affect thousands of Zimbabwean immigrants. Introduced in 2009, the permit allows Zimbabweans to work and conduct business in South Africa, but does not grant permanent residency or renewal options. Recently, the Home Affairs Department decided to end the ZEP program, inciting legal battles from civil society organizations. The permits have now been extended to November of 2025. The situation is aggravated by Zimbabwe's prohibitive passport fees, pushing many to migrate irregularly. Smugglers and dangerous border crossings have become common. If South Africa tightens its immigration policies further, the risks for these migrants will only increase, highlighting the ongoing struggle of Zimbabweans seeking stability across the border. Nigeria continues to impose severe anti-LGBTQ+ laws, driving many individuals to seek asylum abroad. Consensual same-sex relations in Nigeria are criminalized, with punishments ranging from 14 years in prison to the death penalty in regions governed by Sharia law. These laws also severely restrict advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights and public displays of same-sex affection. This hostile environment forces many LGBTQ+ Nigerians to flee their country in search of safety. Asylum seekers from Nigeria must navigate a complex and often unfriendly process in Europe, where privacy concerns and a lack of understanding about anti-LGBTQ+ laws complicate their claims. Social stigmas further deter many from disclosing their sexual orientation during asylum interviews. Inconsistent implementation of EU protections means these asylum seekers do not always find safe or supportive environments. The Nigerian government has suspended the planned cybersecurity levy on domestic money transfers. The levy, which was intended to clamp down on cryptocurrency blamed for the nation's currency weakness, has been put on hold following government directives. Civil society groups had opposed the levy, raising concerns about its timing during a period of financial hardship. The Nigerian Economic Summit Group highlighted issues of multiple taxation and inflationary pressures. The group pointed out the levy would add to the burden of Nigerians struggling with a cost of living crisis and increased currency circulation. Despite a prior circular from the Central Bank of Nigeria to financial institutions about the levy, the federal government has decided to reconsider its implementation. The Peruvian government has officially classified trans and intersex individuals as mentally ill, sparking significant backlash. The health minister claims this designation is necessary for providing full medical coverage for mental health. Critics argue it reflects a lack of understanding of LGBTQ+ issues and warns this label could lead to harmful practices like conversion therapy. This decree coincides with recent legislation actions, including a ban on gender equality in school textbooks, which has hindered efforts to combat domestic violence. The president, facing her own scandals, including corruption allegations involving her brother, has not addressed this controversy. Law enforcement officials in the United States seized more than 115 million counterfeit fentanyl pills in 2023, up from 71 million in 2022. These fake pills, which resemble legal prescriptions, opioids like oxycodone, are often more lethal. The surge in seizures indicates a growing problem with fentanyl now dominating the U.S. drug supply. Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid 50 times stronger than heroin, is responsible for 70% of drug overdose deaths in the U.S., resulting in more than 200 fatalities daily. Most of these chemicals used to produce fentanyl come from labs in India and China, with the end product often smuggled into the U.S. via Mexico. The majority of fentanyl-related deaths and usage occur in the U.S., making it the epicenter of the opioid crisis. Also in the U.S., Walmart is cutting hundreds of corporate jobs and is requiring most remote workers to move to offices. Employees in smaller offices in Dallas, Atlanta, and Toronto are being asked to relocate to central hubs like Bentonville, Arkansas, Hoboken, New Jersey, or Northern California. While remote work will still be permitted part-time, most work must be office-based.
As the largest U.S. employer with 1.6 million workers, Walmart has been reducing remote work flexibility and closing smaller offices. Last year, Walmart shut down 3 tech offices and asked staff to relocate. The company is also closing all 51 of its health clinics due to rising operation costs and an unstable reimbursement environment. Anglo American is planning to spin off or sell its diamond business De Beers, causing uncertainty in the diamond industry. The industry, having boomed during the pandemic, now faces a downturn as inflation hit consumers cut back on luxury spending. Man-made diamonds are gaining market share, especially in the U.S., adding pressure on natural diamond prices. De Beers' significant buyers, called sight holders, worry that a new owner may aggressively sell diamonds at lower prices, lacking Anglo's deep pockets and market patience. De Beers is addressing these fears by stating that new ownership will bring flexibility. Other changes could take years. Despite De Beers' iconic status, finding a suitable buyer remains challenging. Visa has announced significant changes to credit and debit card operations in the U.S., which will affect how people manage their payments. Banks will soon offer a single physical card connected to multiple accounts. This means no more carrying separate debit and credit cards. Visa is also enhancing security measures due to a rise in online payment fraud. Changes include new tap-to-pay options, allowing users to add cards to mobile wallets by tapping their smartphones. Biometric approvals like fingerprint or face scans will further streamline the payment process. These changes aim to make payments more secure and convenient, but it will take time for banks to implement them. A recent report reveals the conflict in Sudan and Israel's war on Gaza has resulted in 75.9 million internally displaced people at the end of 2023. This is a record high, up from 71.1 million the previous year. Internally displaced people are forced to move within their own country, unlike refugees who flee abroad. 68.3 million people were displaced beyond or by conflict and violence, and then 7.7 million by disasters. Sudan alone accounts for 9.1 million people, the highest for any country since 2008. Nearly half of all internally displaced people are in sub-Saharan Africa. The report highlights repeated forced movements leave millions unable to rebuild their lives, emphasizing a dire need for better conflict prevention and aid. China is taking major steps to address its housing surplus by having state-owned enterprises and local governments purchase unsold apartments. Hangzhou authorities plan to buy up to 100,000 square feet of apartments and rent them out as affordable rates. The initiative may help stabilize property prices, but it will be costly. Analysts estimate it could require $1 trillion to address the entire stock of unsold homes. This move aims to assist distressed developers and control the property market's decline. However, it risks adding financial strain to local governments already burdened with substantial debt. For residents, this could mean more affordable housing options and a temporary check on the property market slide. Bangkok is struggling to manage the city's stray animal population, affecting both animals and residents. Efforts to sterilize and shelter these animals face difficulties due to a lack of facilities and trust. Improvements are underway, including facility renovations, to better care for animals and promote adoptions. Collaborative efforts with veterinary programs, local startups, and nonprofits have shown promise. Efforts also include workshops to educate the community, especially children, on the importance of pet care. Recent events promoting pet adoptions have shown some results, with all adoptable cats at one event finding homes. Community members continue to play a crucial role, volunteering and offering affordable sterilization services. The unrest in New Caledonia, a French Pacific territory, has resulted in 5 deaths, including 2 indigenous Kanak, and placed immense strain on residents. The French government has deployed 2,700 security forces to address the escalating violence, which includes looting, riots, and arson. The French Interior Minister has vowed to regain control and place 10 pro-independence activists under house arrest. The Indigenous Council condemned the violence and supported peaceful protests. Now, the state of emergency declared for 12 days includes curfew extensions and heightened military presence to secure essential services. The unrest coincides with the French Parliament's controversial constitutional amendment affecting voter eligibility, potentially marginalizing these voices. Australia's Mandarin season has prompted major supermarkets to adopt recycling packaging, following the lead of smaller retailers. While this shift is environmentally beneficial, it has mixed effects on different communities. Citrus growers in South Australia have been using recyclable packaging for more than 6 years, despite the higher costs. Plastic net bag demand has significantly decreased, impacting businesses and the employees who manufactured them. Recycling advocates emphasize the importance of minimizing unnecessary packaging. Supermarkets like Coles are now replacing plastic net bags with 100% recyclable paper bags, expected to eliminate 11,700 kilograms of plastic annually. Recycling tips include taking reusable bags to supermarkets, placing large produce items loosely in the trolley or the basket there, and following recyclable labels for proper disposal.
Tired of being programmed? At United Network, you'll discover the truth about what's really happening on our planet. Get instant access to our written news, UNN newscasts, world situation reports, and in-depth stories from our field messengers. Manifest your amazing abilities as we explore the new Earth. Plus, original series to inspire and encourage you throughout your day. Get connected through United Chat, our personal chat room where you can join the conversation, share your experience, and also submit your questions for Kim. Watch United Network at home or on the go through your computer, favorite online streaming program, or mobile apps.
Welcome to United Network News.
Start your free trial today. UnitedNetwork.Earth, bringing people together.
Want to share news from UNN? Help us change the face of social media and use it for good. Connect with us through our online channels. Our social media team creates clips from each newscast you can easily share with people you care about. That's also where you'll find our UNN Meme of the Day, a great way to encourage critical thinking. Links to all our social media sites are available at the bottom of our website at unitednetwork.earth. Let's change the face of news together.
Kim is currently in meetings today as tensions rise between global headquarters, the treasuries, and governments. Monetary promises again fall flat as servers showing fake money at the Bogota, Colombia Central Bank crash. China's deep state is caught in a lie last night when they told the world they controlled the Alpha system as they failed to prove their access. Looks like lies are not buying them time anymore. If there are any breaking news developments, Kim will update us over the weekend. Otherwise, she will be back with us on Monday. And that wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together and help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record and share it with us so together we can share it with the world. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the real news.